Don't skip this. People are waking up this week with smaller Social Security checks, and they have no idea why. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what changed and what you need to do right now. Stop scrolling. Seriously. If you receive Social Security, if someone in your family does, or if you're planning on it someday, you need to hear what I'm about to tell you right now. Because starting May 1st, 2026, 4 significant changes are going live, and most people have absolutely no idea they're coming. I'm not talking about small tweaks or minor adjustments buried in some government document nobody reads. I'm talking about changes that could directly affect the amount of money hitting your bank account, sometimes overnight, without any warning letter, without any phone call, without any heads up at all. And the worst part? A lot of people won't even realize it happened until they go to pay a bill and the money just isn't there. So stay with me, because I'm going to walk you through every single one of these changes in plain English, tell you who's affected, what you need to do about it, and how to make sure you're not caught completely off guard. Let's start with a little bit of background, because I think context matters here. Social Security has been around since 1935. It was built as a safety net, a system where working Americans pay in throughout their careers and then receive monthly benefits when they retire, become disabled, or pass away and leave behind a surviving spouse or children. For tens of millions of Americans, this is not extra money. This is the money. It's how rent gets paid. It's how prescriptions get filled. It's how the lights stay on. So when changes happen to this system, even small ones on paper, the real-world impact can be enormous. And right now, in 2026, we're seeing a wave of changes hitting all at once, which is honestly pretty unusual. That's what makes this moment so important to pay attention to. Now, before I get into the 4 changes, I want to say something that I think a lot of financial channels don't say enough. None of this is your fault. The Social Security system is complicated by design. There are hundreds of rules, dozens of exceptions, income thresholds that change every year, benefit formulas that would make a mathematician nervous. Most people are just trying to live their lives, and they don't have time to read 80-page SSA policy updates. That's why I'm here. Let's go through this together, one piece at a time. The first change, and honestly, the one that's going to affect the most people, has to do with income verification and how the SSA is now cross-referencing your earnings in real time. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. If you're on Social Security, especially if you're receiving Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI, your benefit amount is directly tied to your income and your resources. If your income goes up, your benefit can go down. That part most people know. But here's what's changed. Starting May 1st, the Social Security Administration has implemented a new automated data matching system that links directly with IRS records, state employment databases, and even certain financial institutions. What that means in practice is that the SSA is now able to detect changes in your income much faster than before, sometimes within weeks rather than the months or years it used to take. Stay with me, because this is important. In the past, if you started a part-time job or received an inheritance, the SSA might not find out for 6 months, a year, sometimes longer. During that time, you'd still be receiving your full benefit. Then they'd catch up, determine you were overpaid, and send you a letter demanding the money back, sometimes thousands of dollars. That overpayment recovery process has been a nightmare for a lot of families. But here's the flip side of the new system. It can also cut your benefits much faster if it detects what it thinks is a change in your financial situation, even if that change is temporary, even if there's been a mistake. And that's where people are getting hurt right now. Imagine you had a one-time freelance payment in March. The system sees it, flags it, and by May, your check is smaller. You didn't even know it was being monitored. That's the reality of this new system. The practical advice here is this. If you're on SSI or any income-based Social Security benefit, you need to report any change in income immediately, not when it's convenient, immediately. Call the SSA, document it, keep a record. Don't let the automated system catch it first, because when it does, the adjustments happen fast and undoing them is slow. The second change is one that's been coming for a while but is finally going into full effect this May. and it involves the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, two rules that affect people who worked in certain government jobs, like teachers, firefighters, or state employees, and also paid into Social Security through other work. This part is important, so let me explain it in plain English. For decades, these two provisions reduced Social Security benefits for people who received a government pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security. The logic was that the Social Security formula was originally designed for people who had low lifetime earnings, and government workers with pensions could look like low earners on paper even if they weren't. So the WEP and GPO reduced their Social Security checks, sometimes dramatically. A retired teacher in Ohio, for example, might have been getting $800 a month in Social Security wiped down to $300 because of these rules. Surviving spouses were losing benefits entirely in some cases. Now here's what changed. Legislation was passed, the Social Security Fairness Act, and it eliminated both the WEP and the GPO. That's genuinely good news for millions of people. But the implementation is where things get complicated. Starting May 1st, the SSA is rolling out the retroactive payment adjustments for people who were affected by these rules, going back to a specific eligibility date. What that means is some people are going to see a larger than normal check this month. Great news, right? Yes, but let's take a step back. Some of those retroactive payments are being calculated incorrectly. There are reports of people receiving the wrong amount, either too much or too little, because their pension records weren't properly integrated into the SSA's system. If you're a former government worker and you think you might be affected by the WEP or GPO repeal, you need to contact the SSA directly, check your My Social Security account online, and verify that your payment adjustment is correct. Don't just cash the check and assume it's right. If they overpaid you, they will come back for it. And that conversation is a lot harder to have after you've spent the money. The third change involves Medicare premium adjustments and how they interact with your Social Security check. Now, most people know that if you're on Medicare Part B, your premium gets deducted directly from your Social Security benefit. What a lot of people don't know is that those premiums are recalculated every year based on your income from 2 years ago. So in 2026, the SSA is looking at your 2024 income to determine what your Part B premium should be. And in 2024, a lot of Americans had unusual income. Stimulus-related payouts had wound down, but there were capital gains spikes, IRA distributions, and other one-time events that artificially inflated what the SSA sees as your income. Here's what that means. Some people who are paying a standard Part B premium are now being hit with what's called IRMAA, income-related monthly adjustment amounts. That's just a fancy way of saying your Medicare premium is higher because the government thinks you earned more money 2 years ago. I'll explain this with a real example. Say your mother took a large IRA distribution in 2024 to help pay for a medical procedure. That distribution bumped her reported income up significantly for that 1 year. Now in 2026, the SSA has looked at that income and decided she falls into a higher premium bracket, even though that was a one-time thing, even though her income this year is completely normal. Her Social Security check just got smaller without any warning. The good news is there's a process to appeal this. It's called a life-changing event appeal, and you can request that the SSA use more recent income if your 2024 income doesn't reflect your current situation. But you have to know to do this. Most people don't. If your Social Security check is smaller than you expected this May, check your Medicare premium deduction first. That may be exactly where the missing money went. The fourth change is arguably the most quietly impactful, and it has to do with direct deposit and identity verification requirements. Starting May 1st, the SSA is rolling out stricter identity verification protocols as part of a broader effort to combat fraud. And look, fraud is a real problem. Billions of dollars are lost every year to people fraudulently claiming benefits. So in principle, stronger verification makes sense. But the way it's being implemented is creating real problems for real beneficiaries. Here's what's happening. If the SSA cannot verify your identity or your bank account information through their new automated systems, they may pause or delay your payment while they request additional documentation. For most people, this will be a brief inconvenience. for seniors without easy access to a computer, for people with disabilities who can't easily get to a Social Security office, for people whose names changed after marriage and the records don't match perfectly. This can become a serious problem that stretches on for weeks. Here's what you need to do right now. Log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. Verify that your name, address, and bank account information are all current and exactly correct. Even a small mismatch, a middle initial, a slightly different address format, can trigger a verification flag. If you don't have an online account, I strongly encourage you to create one, or ask a trusted family member to help you do so. The SSA has also expanded its in-person services at some offices to help with this transition. But wait times are long, so don't wait until there's a problem to walk through that door. Now, while we're talking about all of this, I have to say something about scams, because whenever there's news about Social Security changes, the scammers come out in full force. This part is important, so please listen carefully. The Social Security Administration will never call you on the phone and threaten to suspend your benefits. They will never ask you to confirm your Social Security number over the phone. They will never ask you to pay a fee to receive your benefits or to fix a problem with your account. If someone contacts you, by phone, by text, by email, claiming to be from the SSA and asking for personal information or payment, hang up immediately. It is a scam. Full stop. No exceptions. The real SSA communicates primarily by mail, and their official website is ssa.gov. That's it. Bookmark it. Use it. Don't click links in text messages that claim to be from them. Let me bring this all together because I know that was a lot of information and I want to make sure you leave here with something practical. Here's your action plan. First, check your My Social Security account this week and make sure your personal and banking information is completely up to date. Second, if you're a former government employee, teacher, firefighter, state worker, look into whether the WEP or GPO repeal affects you and verify that your payment adjustment is accurate. Third, if your check is smaller than expected this month, look at your Medicare Part B premium deduction and consider whether an IRMAA appeal might be appropriate. Fourth, if you have any changes in income, any at all, report them to the SSA immediately before the automated system catches up with you. And fifth, talk to your family. Share this information. Because a lot of the people who are going to be hit hardest by these changes are older Americans who aren't watching YouTube, who aren't getting these alerts, who are going to find out the hard way. The Social Security system is complicated and it's changing, but you don't have to navigate it alone and you don't have to be caught off guard. The information exists, the tools exist, the appeals processes exist. You just have to know to use them. So don't leave money on the table. Check your account, verify your information, know your rights, and if something doesn't look right, speak up. And if this video helped you understand something you didn't understand before, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because I promise you, there are millions of people right now who don't know any of this is coming. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next one.